what changes occurred in Russia under Stalin's totalitarianism. And the theme is total control. So economically, Stalin will establish a command economy where the government makes all economic decisions. Therefore, the government has total control over the economy. And since Stalin is in control of the government, Stalin makes all the decisions. Here is Stalin sitting down making decisions with his cigarette. He's always smoking a cigarette. He was famous for that. He comes up with 5-year plans. And these were these drastic steps to promote industrial growth. Here is some propaganda about that. Here's a farmer beating a horse to plow, and they're going to replace this with a brand new tractor. And he set impossibly high quotas. I mean, you had to produce this much steel, coal, or electricity per month. And in order to achieve this goal, people were required to have a shortage of consumer goods. So there was rationing as well. And he funds this with collective farming. He sees 25 million privately owned farms, kind of what Lenin did, but on a much grander scale. And he combined all the farms into large government-owned farms. He called them collectivization or collective farm. And this eliminated the kulaks, which were a class of wealthy peasants. And you can see right here these marching collectivization in the farmers fighting against this little capitalist right here, this kulak. Politically, yes. He begins to have what's known as the Great Purge. Since he seized power, he's going to eliminate anybody else who could have challenged his power. So he launches a campaign of terror where he focused on the old Bolsheviks. And he actually killed 8 million of his own people. You see right here, here's a very famous picture where the propagandists eliminated this old Bolshevik. And this was the original picture, but this is how it was published in textbooks. The guy was eliminated because he was part of the Great Purge. And he uses propaganda. He uses the type of socialist realist art that always promoted Soviet life and communist leaders. Here's some of that socialist realist art. These big, strong people farming and doing. You can see this woman right here gathering wheat, and this man right here working in a factory, promoting labor. But socially, what he does is he has a lot of censorship. The government controlled newspapers, motion pictures, and radio. This was the basis of the book, 1984, and they could make you believe anything, 2 + 2 = 5. And this was a theme in the book 1984, but it was actually a slogan of the 5-year plans, which was completed in 4 years. And this was used to torture the main character in the book 1984. So women actually had more rights in the Soviet Union in 1917 than they did in the United States. They gained equal rights, they had more access to education, and they were actually in the military. Here's a very famous picture of a female sniper of the Soviet Union. And women were just granted the right to fight in combat here in the United States in 2013. Education, they were also a little bit more advanced. They learned about communism in free public schools. And here is a picture of all these children going to school. And they really promoted education for everybody. So that is how life in Russia changed under Stalin's totalitarianism.